Please welcome Mr. Arman Khaghani.
گلی از دست برفت و خار مانده به من جور و جفا بسیار مانده مامسه مامسا ماموسا ایلایلا و کوائیلا نومالهینی اوهانا. Good evening. Before I begin, Mr. Carathiel has so graciously asked me to tell you about the 3 rules of Pet Talks. Remember, no phones, no food, and of course, no fun. Dear esteemed colleagues, academic adjudicators, parents who say they love their children, parents who actually love their children, ghosts of dead football players named Walter, and any NSA agents sitting in the audience and or listening at home. What is there to say about Tim Devine and the Payton administration, faculty, and staff that they themselves have not already said about themselves? Please stop it. What is there to say about the unparalleled experience that Payton has provided us that hasn't been said year after year in graduation speech after graduation speech? Instead, let's talk about who actually matters, the Payton class of 2015. Once again, please stop it. Class of 2015, you are the embodiment of what makes Payton a special place. You are artists and musicians, whether it be featured in the Palm magazine, displayed in the recital hall, or on your grandmother's refrigerator because no one else would take it. Payton students are colorful and all over the place, like a rash on a boy with a severe peanut allergy, or a box of Fruit Loops, or with the new PE requirement, a Payton gym class. You are travelers. Payton students visited South Africa, China, the Czech Republic, Russia, Mexico, and Taiwan, immersing you in foreign cultures and leaving you with a resounding thought of, oh God, please no, upon returning to school. Yes, in fact, we could offer a trip to a Cash for Gold seminar in Gary, Indiana, and still get full participation if it meant missing a week of school. I applied for the Woods Exchange, but when we actually got into the woods, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. A lot less camping and a lot more singing. You are volunteers. You build houses, clean streets, and teach old people how to do things they will most likely forget in a couple hours. You do it because you have a deep love for community service and believe in the common good, but mostly because it's a graduation requirement. Yes, mandatory volunteerism, CPS's second favorite oxymoron, the first, of course, being teachers' benefits. You are scholars. Payton students are attending some of the top universities in the country. Of course, that was after you were denied by most of the other top universities in the country. Oh, college admissions. Remember, don't let anyone tell you who to be unless they can scrutinize every word you write and judge your worth based on a couple numbers. And this past year, your senior year, you answered an age-old question. What would it look like if everyone made as little effort as humanly possible? It may be funny now, but be warned, if you continue to do absolutely nothing into adulthood, the only job you will be qualified for is a seat in the US Senate. You are key members of the digital generation that will soon change the face of the modern world. The generation of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, SparkNotes. For those of you with your phones out right now, don't forget to tweet with the hashtag incapable of living in the moment. Congratulations, Payton class of 2015. You are graduating from high school. 12 years of hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears has paid off, especially the blood. You get a piece of paper that means almost nothing in today's job market. Well, at least we get to play dress up. Today we get to dress up in what can only be described as medieval underwear, or a prototype Snuggie, or an oversized bathrobe. I feel like I should wear one of these after I get out of the shower, making this the first, and I hopefully last, communal bathroom I've ever been in. Toiletries aside, I am honored to give this speech. I really am, almost as much as I am underqualified to give it. Behind me sit people with years of teaching and life experiences, as Mr. Devine never fails to remind us. And yet I am the one addressing you today. The kid 9 out of 10 Payton students rated, oh, I think I've seen him before. The kid who cuffs his sweatpants. The kid who up until 6th grade thought MLK was the first black president. I've never spoken in a room so big to so many people. I'm sweating a bit, but I don't know if it's because I'm nervous or because of the blanket that I'm wearing in the middle of June. Or it could be because the very man who decides whether or not I graduate is staring at the back of my head while I make bathroom jokes. I apologize to those family members who flew hundreds of miles searching for an enlightening speech. I can't give that to you. But to be honest, a high school graduation is one of the last places to look for one. No, this will be more like a 3rd grade dance recital. The best part is when it ends. All good things come to an end eventually, like 7-Eleven's free Slurpee Day, or free pancake day at IHOP, or Social Security. But now it's our high school careers that are coming to an end. I remember my time at Payton. It feels like only last week, when I was young, adventurous, when I had a full head of hair. My day started with no lockers, straight to advisory, advisory, no lockers, and ended with, all right, let's go. With some Johnny with the weather in between. For some of us, transitioning into Payton was difficult. I missed the first day of freshman connection. And when I walked into Jenner the second day, I thought, well, everyone kind of knows each other now. How am I ever going to fit in? For those 2 long weeks, every morning I sat in the corner of the lunchroom, alone, anxious, confused, and looking for approval. And though it took about 3.5 years, I found my answer. The secret to fitting in is to smile, laugh, nod, say what you want, and then apologize for what you just said when Mr. Adamji calls you into the office the next day. Dealing with my social anxiety is the hardest thing I have ever done, but feeding my enormous ego comes in a very close second. You are currently at a crossroads. To your left is a path that has been taken countless times before. To your right is the less beaten path. But directly in front of you is a path that no one else can follow. Uncharted territory that only you can navigate. It could lead you to the most amazing triumphs and lead to the most devastating losses. But at least it will be yours. And you should follow that path with no shame and no regrets. In fact, an economics teacher of mine, off topic as he usually was, once told me never ask for permission, instead beg for forgiveness. Advice that has changed my life. Some would say for the worse. See, my senior year started off with an ice bucket challenge. An ice bucket challenge that I would send as an art supplement to a college. That promptly denied my application. But from that ice bucket challenge came more projects. I wrote a movie screenplay, started my own religion, drew comic strips, dropped a mixtape, coordinated a CTA flash mob, and frightened my parents. And while my movie, How Satan's Midlife Crisis Stole Christmas, will probably never see the light of day, and my mixtape Business Casual will never live up to the amount of hype I gave it, I believe that unlike my friends, relatives, guidance counselors, therapists, and really anyone I've told this to, that my life is not a complete waste. It's really the opposite. Because in the process of doing so, I have developed relationships with amazing teachers and kids who I will never forget. And I hope you never forget me. Until when you run for president, in which case we never met. Though I try to live life on my own terms, it isn't without its ups and downs. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. I remember the first speech Tim Devine made to us his first year at Payton. He mistakenly called Payton Northside at least 34 times. That is a bad thing. You shouldn't be applauding. I don't know, maybe he likes being second best. Everyone makes mistakes. For example, David Adamji got a master's degree in English. And with that degree, he can now pursue his passion, making birds' nests. My mistake, that's his hair. But then again, who can tell the difference? He practically has a bird's equivalent of a Motel 6. Everyone makes mistakes. PJ Caraphiel went to Harvard University as an undergraduate, and every day he reaps the most unique benefit of his Harvard education, telling people about his Harvard education. At Harvard, Mr. Caraphiel won the Adams Prize for Best Thesis on the history of philosophy. Shockingly, at the same time, Mr. Caraphiel developed a crippling allergy to fun of any kind. He is also allergic to mangoes. But with your help, we can find Mr. Caraphiel's sense of humor, which is why I'll be collecting financial contributions at the end of the speech. Everyone makes mistakes, some more often than others. Michelle Washington has been holding innocent students hostage every Friday for the last 9 months. Some call it kidnapping. She likes the phrase attendance policy. I can only hope that in the coming years, future seniors looking for ways to boost their extracurriculars will join me in detention club. See, our lives aren't perfect. Human nature is flawed and life is unfair. You will do things that you regret years later, like when you wore those non-prescription glasses to school, or took your pants off in the freshman talent show, or that one time when you thought it would be safe to eat at Arby's. Arby's, bringing a whole new meaning to the phrase reduce, reuse, recycle. But there's a beauty in how life allows us to constantly rebuild and redefine ourselves, almost as if giving us a second, third, or fourth chance of getting it right, and God knows we need it. And our friends will always be there to point us in the right direction. Maybe someone can show Mr. Adamji to a good barber. A word of warning. We are done reminiscing, and we are now entering the meaningful segment of the speech. For those of you with enough meaning in your lives, feel free to stop listening. What is the meaning of life? Does Tim Devine own clothes other than Payton apparel and dress shirts? Has my mother disowned me yet? These are questions. If I had the answers, I probably wouldn't be standing here. I would be sitting in a closet, making fortune cookies with a little typewriter. I'm not going to try and tell you how to live your lives, because frankly, I am not wise. In fact, only yesterday did I learn sauerkraut is a condiment, not a slang term for the face one makes after watching Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. It's not my place to tell you how to live. I'll leave that to the companies and special interests that will dictate your every hope and dream. Don't believe me? This very speech is sponsored by Pepsi. Pepsi. Childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes never tasted so sweet. On that positive note, I will tell you this, please don't fall. As much as I love my time at Payton, I wouldn't want to spend another second there. And after this speech, I don't think I will be allowed to. See, this isn't our peak. In fact, Payton is only about 600 feet above sea level. No, like Taylor Swift, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything is going to be all right. We're going to do some amazing things, just you wait. I'm going to climb a mountain. I am going to marry a supermodel. I am going to follow my passions or give up on them and go into finance. I'm going to feed Ryan Gosling cereal. I am going to become a Kennedy or a Romney or Ellen. I am going to bring Ray Charles back from the dead and make him the 7th member of NWA. I am going to buy Rosetta Stone. I am going to dunk on LeBron James. I am going to give up on Rosetta Stone and teach Shamu how to open a jar of peanut butter. I'm going to spread kindness and happiness. I'm going to read children's books to preschoolers. I'm going to put the seat down after using the toilet. I'm going to destroy all copies of the Star Wars sequels. I'm going to reinvent the light bulb and rediscover electricity. And I'm going to make the world a better place. Then I'm going to look my kids in the eyes and say, Daddy's a pretty big deal. Hopefully not. Daddy has another restraining order. And maybe, if you're lucky, some of you, the class of 2015, will almost be as cool as me. or as humble. My journey, our journey, is just beginning, but I couldn't think of a better place to start. In a few months, you will be hundreds of miles from some of your best friends. But no matter where you go or where you end up, what will define you are the values that you have learned. Yes, the 4 C's. Curiosity, compassion, character, and cowardice. And when you judge the success of your life, don't judge it on status or wealth, because those things are temporary. When you feel overwhelmed and don't know where your life is going, remember that life isn't something you win. It's something you experience. The only thing that is permanent are the people that we decide to keep close to us. I hope that whether it be family, friends, or a significant other, you find someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, because companionship, decency, and friendliness are the only ways you can truly succeed in our increasingly narcissistic and superficial world. Live long, happy lives, because happiness is a master key. It belongs to all of us. It's what allows people to not only open the doors and break out of their own shell, but to help those around them do the same. I urge you to follow your own path and be happy. It will make the world a better place. Without your kindness, I may still be that shy kid from 4 years ago. As we are in a church, I find it only necessary to leave you with some anecdotes. In the words of Reverend James Franco, they only hate us because they ain't us. In the words of Minister Yeezy, who by the way turns 38 today, good morning, on this day we become legendary. And in the words of the sixth God, my ex asked me where you move in, I said on to better things. Block out the haters and do dope things, because we live dope lives and we are still moving on to better things. Don't let anyone question the path you take. Do what you love, follow your passion. If you get famous, please give me some money. With the economy the way it is, I will most likely be unemployed. Jokes aside, this is it. We are entering new chapters in our lives. I'm really bad at change. I am awful at saying goodbye, so I won't say it. What I will say is, thank you Payton administration, faculty and staff. Thank you parents and guardians. Thank you base God. It has been an honor. Until we meet again, congratulations Walter Payton class of 2015. Sincerely, your friend, Sarah Jessica Parker.